Hello and welcome to the All In Podcast, the podcast where my friends and I go all in on all things poker. Today's theme is, so you want to start gambling? In this video, we're going to share the 4 things you need to ensure that gambling stays fun and responsible. Because there is a very fine line between having fun gambling and absolutely destroying your life.
So real.
This is not an understatement. The first thing you need, my friends, to ensure that you have fun gambling and are staying responsible is to have a conversation with yourself. Is gambling for me?
So, yeah, what do you mean by that? What type of conversation? Like, am I just asking myself, do I want to gamble or?
That's the first thing. Do you want to gamble? Does gambling appeal to you? Because sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like, also it's like gambling, because I believe there's inherent want in all humans to take some form of risk in their life, right? Right? Like the fun type of risk. But playing gambling with your money isn't for most people, I'd say. Like most people, I think, due to like whether it's like financial reasons or just like personality reasons. Because like a lot of people I know, the idea of gambling away money makes them sick. Like makes them like physically ill.
Yeah, you're saying like there's different ways to take risks. You can go play chess. You can go race cars, but it's very specifically gambling. You're saying is the form of entertainment in which you are risking money.
Yeah, that makes some people physically ill.
Yeah, I have so many people in my life who are just like will refuse to flip for like $1, $2, or even put any amount of money at risk.
Yeah.
So yeah, before you start gambling, I guess you should ask yourself, are you okay with losing that money as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you okay losing that money? Are you okay? Do you want to risk money? That's really it. Does it appeal to you? Is it fun to you? That's a big part of that first thing, I think.
Yeah, especially with poker. Well, like when I first started, like lesson 1 is not getting bored, because unfortunately, the reality of playing poker is it's a lot of waiting.
That depends on how you play, though.
Okay.
That depends on which type of gambling you do, but we'll get more into that later. I think once we first identify that gambling is risking money, placing bets for entertainment, you need to ask yourself, am I in the financial situation to gamble with my money? And I think as long as you have disposable income that you're willing to spend on, you're willing to spend for a couple hours of entertainment, and you have a budget for this, then you can start considering it. But if you're going paycheck to paycheck, you probably shouldn't gamble.
Yeah. So if you need that money and your idea is that you want to gamble to make more money that you need, probably not a very good idea to gamble. But what if you're a professional?
Well, then that's not gambling. This podcast is either going to go really well or really badly.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean a professional roulette player?
You're really good at looking at where the ball goes.
No, there's that one like professor who like, or like some like academic guy who like was gambling, who was trying to find an edge in gambling, and he realized that at like this in Europe, this old roulette table was leaning to one side, like by like 2 millimeters. So by looking at where the wheel was when it spun, it's like, oh, it was leaning this way, so it's gonna land on these numbers, and he just like absolutely farmed that casino on roulette with like a 2% edge or whatever.
I think we're starting to go into the second thing you need to have before you start gambling, which is a good mindset towards gambling. Now, if somehow you found some hack in your casino and the roulette wheel hits 00 every single time, I think one could argue that's no longer gambling. You're just farming at that point, okay? But that's not the case most of the time. I want to stress right now, you can never win long-term playing roulette, okay? I would say you would need a good mindset towards gambling. And the mindset that I'm really glad was given to me before I started playing poker, getting into this industry, was the idea that gambling is entertainment. It is not a viable way to make money. It's the same amount of money you would spend on going out for a dinner with your friends or a concert or, watching a movie. It's money you're willing to spend for entertainment. That's my mindset to gambling.
Yeah, I think before you gamble, you should also just kind of like check how are you feeling on that day, right? Are you already feeling pretty happy? Is this something that you want to do because you're having a good day, take a little bit more risk? Or are you having already a pretty bad day? Because I feel like a lot of times you're having a bad day already. Like if you go to a casino, it's just impossible to win anything. You just feel worse and worse after every single hand you play. And then you start like chasing your losses and everything just kind of spirals downhill from there. So before you gamble, honestly, just ask yourself, how are you feeling? Are your losses going to make you feel a lot worse than how much happier your wins are going to make you feel?
Yeah, you're saying like the actual mindset you're in that day. Whereas like, it's like if you're in a good space, then it's like, okay, indulge in gambling. I kind of treat drinking alcohol the same way, where it's like, if I am celebrating or I'm having a good time, like, sure, I'll have a drink. But if I feel the need to drink when I'm in a place where I'm like, just like feeling low, in the hole, depressed, then I'm like, drinking is probably not the healthy thing to do here. That's kind of the same mindset you're having with gambling.
What do you think is worse, like depression drinking or depression gambling? What do you think is like worse? Like just like on a personal level?
They're both really bad.
Yeah, they're both really bad.
I think I would probably do both simultaneously, so both are equally bad.
Cancel out?
No. It's not negative times negative, Edison. It's negative plus negative.
Sorry, it took a second for me to get that.
What I said was factually correct, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's like starting your day on tilt and going to do things that are more likely to tilt you. Like recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Do you have any of your own personal mindsets towards gambling? Anything to add towards this? Or
it's like, it's like, I think like our personal gambling group is like pretty blessed, right? Because for most of us, when we first got started, we were all already friends, and like you came along later, and like you literally just like Ezra, I think, like introduced us like, this is my friend Greg. I knew him from high school. He wants to start poker, and we were all like super receptive, right? We didn't farm you. Okay. So sorry. We didn't like it's like we didn't like maliciously farm you, right? We were all like pretty helpful. Even our games now, even though our games are like demonstrably bigger than when they started, it's like we're still like super friendly, still like open to questions in the middle of a hand. Like if someone says I need help in this spot, we'll give it to them. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, not all groups are going to be like that. Like especially when we were reacting to the Reddit stories, like some people are really stingy because we're playing with money. But for us, it's friendship before gambling.
Sure. Your mindset towards gambling is that the people you surround yourself with is also very important.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I think the amount of times I've gone to the casino like by myself is like I could count on just one hand, right? Like it's less than 5, right? Because like going to your casino by yourself, at least where we are, it's a little miserable sometimes.
I completely agree. So for me, I think also the reason why I play a lot of poker with my friends. I rarely go to the casino, and I almost never play online. Gambling online, you're just kind of by yourself, losing money a lot of the time, right? And it feels you're like both lonely and miserable, and it's not very fun for me. Like you said earlier, poker has a lot of waiting. So if you're playing online, sure, you can multi-table, but now you're losing money faster.
And it's stressful. If you're not good at it, like keeping track of 4 like hell. For some people, keeping track of 2 poker games at once, difficult and stressful. I know I've seen you multi-table, but like your goals,
10 tables, baby.
Yeah, but
Jordan German, you proud of me?
Yeah, but your goals are different than like the average person, especially who we're trying to target right now with this episode.
Yeah. Well, I guess what we're also touching on right now is like, this is something you mentioned earlier, Edison, is like when gambling becomes professional. I think we have due diligence to touch on this.
Yeah.
Blanket statement first and foremost is that it's classic, it's true, it's been said many times because it's true. The house always wins. The house always wins. So all these games in the casino have set edges for the house. It's just the way the game is made. So roulette has an inherent edge for the house. Slots has an inherent edge for the house. Massive edge. What am I missing here? Craps has an inherent edge for the house. Baccarat, everything. So then yes, we'll have people coming and saying like, oh, how about poker? How about blackjack? How about that roulette wheel and whatever that is slightly skewed? Okay, the roulette example aside, but like blackjack and poker, let's talk about poker because that's what I know. Poker is a game you do not play against the house. It's a game you play against other players So if you study the game hard enough, you're basically, you will have an edge against these players, and in the long run, yes, you can win. The caveat to that is becoming a winning player is super fucking hard, and you also have to remember that the house takes a rake. What is a rake for people who watching starting to gamble who don't know?
Yeah, so the rake is a fee basically that the casino takes out of every pot that happens at the table, right? So that's like their hosting fee.
That's right. So it's typically like a percentage capped at a certain amount. So at like local casinos here in BC, Canada, it's like 10% capped at like $10. So if the pot's $50, they will take $5. If the pot's like $7, they'll take $7. If the pot's $11, they'll take $10 because it's capped at $10. The rake makes the game very, very hard to beat, poker to beat. And a lot of people really underestimate how much more difficult rake makes the game. So the point is, almost all the games in the casino, you cannot beat long term. And the games that you can beat long term are really hard to beat long term and for very, very marginal hourlies. Edison, I have a friend who knows how to count blackjack. I hear you know him fairly well. Do you, what are your thoughts about counting in blackjack?
So counting in blackjack is something that is actually fairly easy to learn. You can just like Google it, honestly, and there are tons of YouTube channels that teaches you how to count. So why do casinos still allow for people to play blackjack? That's because a lot of people suck at it. If you want to make money counting in blackjack, you need to be playing the game pretty much perfectly. And at that point, you still only have about a 1% edge or so. If you make any mistakes while you're counting, then the edge goes right back to the casino. So unless you know you can count blackjack and play blackjack perfectly, when you're learning, you're still donating a lot of money back to the casinos as you're trying to improve and you're trying to refine your game.
To summarize this point of having a good mindset when you're approaching gambling is gambling is entertainment. Surround yourselves with good people, not people who will enable you or try to farm you. Remember that the house always wins. And even in the games that you can have an edge in, it's extremely hard to have that edge and for very marginal hourlies. Before we get into the last 2 points, which I personally think are very, very important, it's time for Ask Greg.
Ask Greg your questions.
Ask me a question.
All right, Greg. So SealTuber asks, I've never been in a casino. Where do you get the chips to play and then get the money? Also, can you just take chips home if you want to?
So typically you can get chips in one of two places. The first place, and primarily you're going to get the chips from the cage. It's going to be sometimes it's called the cashier. You will line up, you'll approach it, and it's called the cage often, colloquially, because there are actual metal bars in cages.
Yeah.
And that's when you can give them money, and they will give it to you in chips. These chips you can then take to any table game like blackjack or roulette, and they will either help you make smaller change, or you can just bet directly with that chip.
No.
For the most part,
Yeah.
this is mostly for poker. If you're playing any table games, you can just sit down at the table and give your money to the dealers as well.
Most places have different chips for poker and table games.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you can't take your poker chips and play blackjack with them.
This is
NBC.
You just cannot take your cage chips to the table game.
Yeah.
cash games too?
Yeah.
They have different chips?
Yeah. The poker chips are different than like the blackjack. Like
Who the fuck made
general
me
floor
the
chips.
expert on this to ask me questions?
You.
Yeah.
We are not experts in anything we're talking about. We are, at the end of the day, we are three guys.
Just three friends just dicking around. Okay, for just general gambling, it's the cage or at the table game itself. In some casinos, at least the casinos here in BC, sometimes the chips for poker are different than the chips for the general casino gambling. So you might have to go specifically to the poker cage. To answer your second question, can you take the chips home? Yes.
It's like, yeah, once you have them to the casino, they're as good as money. So like, of course, you can hold on to your own money.
Yeah, think about it this way. You bought it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that travel a lot and go to a lot of casinos actually like keeping $1 chips of all the different casinos they've been to as well.
Oh yeah, that's a really fun souvenir. I've got like 10 of those.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you for $11.
Ask Greg Ask Greg your questions.
Ask me a question.
Nico Lee asked, what's the most common misconception people have about poker before they start playing or while they're still new to it? And where do you see people go wrong in their poker journey most often?
Nico Lee, great questions. First, you're asking, what are some misconceptions about poker? And then what are some of the more common mistakes I see when people get into poker? The first major misconception I see, which has been perpetuated by media and movies about poker, is that it is a get-rich-quick scheme. Conversely, it's the other way around. Poker is a very difficult game to study.
Very volatile, even if you do study well.
Yep, volatile, and even to become a winning player, which only makes up maybe like 5 to 10% of the pool, and that's because of rake.
Even that feels high.
It's really difficult to get to that point. And yeah, I think a lot of people come to poker thinking like, oh, this is going to be such a great way to like make money, and it's not. You know, people start at 1-3 and they'll feel such a rush because they'll win $200 from that one session. But how we measure success in poker is big blinds per 100. So how many big blinds you win per 100 hands. Typically in live setting, you'll play 100 hands over 4 hours. You're looking as a winning cash game player to make like 5 big blinds per 100. So if you're playing 1-3, that's $15 over 4 hours. The hourly is awful. So you have to understand that it's really difficult to become a winning player. It does take a lot of hard work and study and volume. And even when you do get there, you're making a meager hourly. You might as well have taken your bankroll and started a business.
Hey, Greg, what's the worst thing that can happen to a poker player?
That's a great question, Brian. The worst thing that can happen to a poker player is winning a poker tournament. I have 3 trophies from playing live tournaments, and my God, they've cost me so much money.
Shout out to our one friend that won their very first poker tournament.
And then kept the money and didn't think like, oh, I'm a god, and I'm just gonna play $1,000 tournament now.
He has a 100% tournament win rate.
How many tournaments does he play that?
Just one.
End on top, baby. You retire on top. Yeah. It's like people always have these conceptions of gambling where it's like, I'm gonna hit the jackpot, right? But like all the games that do have jackpots farm you over edge, right? Like slot machines, they display like the big number. All the table games have like the progressive scrolling, right? Like 5 figures, 6 figures on the progressive, and like your odds, right? So that's their conception of gambling. Whereas like most like the meme goes, it ain't much, but it's honest work. That's what most gambling is, right? Like $25 a hand on blackjack. You win 3 in a row, you're on top of the world. But like to most people, it's like, oh, it's just $75. But like, no, you had to fight for that $75, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For poker specifically, I feel like a lot of new players also think that if someone is covering them in chips, or if they buy in for the minimum, then they're actually at a disadvantage because the other person can kind of push them around more. This is also not true. Remember that in poker, you can only lose however much money you have in front of you. And if you buy in for less, you actually have a better chance to realize your equity. This means that if you have less money, then it's harder for them to bluff you off of a hand where you have really strong draws, or maybe you have a moderate pair, right? So buying in short is actually a really, really valid strategy. It allows you to get to showdown more often, and you can always just buy in for whatever you're comfortable with. You don't need to feel like you need to buy in for more, otherwise you're at a disadvantage to the other players on the table.
That is specifically to the people in our 25-cent, 50-cent games who feel bad buying in for $25 to $50, and I have a stack of 1,000 in front of me. It's okay. It's fine. We're playing effectively for 25 or 50 bucks.
Yeah. Also, it's like, as our one friend Richard says, I cannot be bullied, and you jam your stack in. What are they gonna do? They can't bluff you anymore. It's over. It's like, yeah, it's like most of the time, honestly, especially with our friend group, it's like people always have this conception. It's like, oh, they have so little money, I can push them around. Like I said, it's the opposite. It's like, I'm gonna push around the little stack. No, they're just gonna jam it in your face, and you look like an idiot. You have egg on your face now.
Moving on to the second question from Nico, where do you see people go wrong in their poker journey most often? I think when they start out, it's playing too high stakes. So what I mean by that, even if like you're playing, like you start, like, you know, the lowest offered stake at a casino is probably like 1-2, so the blinds are $1, $2, and the buy-in for that is like $200, right? But you have to understand that for a cash game bankroll, for a winning player, again, there's no bankroll large enough for a losing player. So already you're practicing very high variance bankroll management. But even if you were a winning player, you need a bankroll of like at least $10 10 buy-ins. So if it's $200, you need $2,000 to strictly just for playing poker with. If you don't have that money readily available and accessible, you already shouldn't be playing 1-2. I think the way to get better at poker, this is a mistake I made personally, is I was trying to get better at poker, but I was playing stakes I didn't need to be playing. I was playing like 1-2 online, which is so difficult, or 50 cent $1 online, when I could have just as easily been playing 1 cent, 2 cent, and been learning more with less financial stress. So my advice is if you want to start playing poker, play to learn, don't play to earn money, because you're going to be losing money to start with. And so you might as well be incentivized you're incentivized to just play the lowest stakes possible. You should play 1 cent, 2 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent.
Yeah. It's like people carry over this conception. It's like, oh, I want to get better, so I want to play against the better players, and I'll find the better players in the higher stakes. And that's just not true, right? Especially at the level that most people are at playing poker, you're just fine learning with the other people in 1 cent, 2 cent, right? It's not like chess where you move up the chess bots and you play against like higher like ELO numbers. The number of money that they're playing doesn't matter, right? Because like some people just have the disposable income and are comfortable playing like 2-5, 5-10, but they're fish. They are. Like,
they're fish. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're saying like it's just there's no that yes you want to get better, but there's no need to play high stakes to do that. You can do that low stakes. You're saying it's like someone who wants to learn how to dive and then they jump out of a plane.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like you don't need. I don't know, but yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said. That's pretty funny. Those are verbatim the words you said.
I didn't say that, but okay.
You don't know what you're saying right now.
You don't believe what you're saying.
Ask Greg your questions.
Ask me a question.
Last question of the day is from Monkey Chow 9999. Greg, do you play 7 deuce?
Yes, I do.
He does it.
This guy literally comes to the table of his own man Joffrey ways now.
No, that's not true. I do play 7. Look,
When was the last time you showed down 7 deuce? How many years?
I feel like I've definitely done it in the last year or so. Okay, but either way, I definitely play 7 deuce when it's suited when there's a big blind ante and
Yeah, when he's on the big blind and it limps to him.
You listen to me, motherfucker. I'm trying to make this game as soft as possible by baiting people to making bad decisions. The mantra "stay loose, play 7 deuce" achieves that. You are destroying the illusion I'm trying to create to make the player pool softer so that I can win more fucking big blinds by 100.
Lose less big blinds per 100.
Do you want me to let you out of this office tonight? Then shut the fuck up.
Yo, shout out to our new office, by the way. Yeah, shout out to the new office. I hope the viewers like it.
Oh, fun fact about this couch. We're here. This couch came with the office, and my friends were very kindly helping me move, and they're moving this couch, and suddenly something drops out from under it. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And then they realize, how does it work?
No, dude, there's the pull tabs.
It's a bad! Now, the third thing you need to ensure that gambling stays fun and responsible is a community. Brian, you were already alluding to this in the last point. Do you want to expand on this?
Yeah. It's especially when you're first starting out, right? And like you don't have any resources, right? Knowing people is very powerful. To allude to a thing that my dad taught me, well, the first thing he taught me is don't lie. The second thing he taught me is always have friends.
The first part is conducive for the second part.
Yeah, for sure.
Good dad.
Yeah, my dad's great. My dad's great. What's funny? I had to say, you're lying.
Wow, your dad didn't teach you that very well.
Yeah, but yeah, it's always have friends, right? Like I said, like we have a pretty blessed friend group that made getting into gambling very approachable, very easy. The cost of education. So like Greg alluded to before, right? It's like you're gonna punt off money learning this game. Since we were all okay playing 1 cent, 2 cent in person, or like 5 cent, 10 cent, whatever it was in person, our cost of education was relatively low.
Yeah.
Like especially in the grand scheme of things, like very low, like community college low for like learning how to gamble.
And the nice thing too is that even if you lose money, it's like the money stays within the ecosystem. There's no third party taking a rake or a fee from our wins or losses. It's a net zero game when you're within friends. So it never feels bad. It's just like, oh, this is money that will eventually come back.
Yeah.
Or if you lose, it's like, you know, I'm happy for you, Jay.
So looping back to the first point, some people can't have that conversation with themselves properly, and they think gambling is for them when it isn't. So if you have that community, they can have that conversation with you along the line. And when you realize partway through your journey, it needs to stop here.
Right. You're saying having a community around you allows you to stay accountable. They're able to hold you accountable and you to them.
Yeah, of course, right? Like I said in past episodes, we've had to have those conversations with people in our friend group, like, hey, you need to take a break, or like you need to like self-reflect here, because like what's happening here isn't healthy, like isn't good.
Yeah. I think this is a good point to stress, like not just a community, not just any community, but a good community. People who aren't going to enable you, people who are going to be honest with you, people who aren't going to lie from you or cheat you or steal from you. Because I've met these people and they're awful. Like you do not want, like, and those people I cut out my life very quickly. So yeah, I think community is really important. I think another thing about having community is that gambling generally by yourself, I think like a lot of things, just isn't fun by yourself. You know, like going to a casino by yourself isn't fun. Drinking by yourself isn't fun. Playing tennis by yourself is impossible.
If you go into a casino, I think for the most part, if you look around, everyone by themselves looks pretty miserable, right? Like everyone in the slot machine is like clicking away. They look bored out of their mind. Who knows how much money they're down?
People who are addicted to slot machines, oh God. Like it actually like makes a black spot in my soul. I feel so horrible that the casinos got their claws into them, because like it's just so mindless. And like when they finally do hit, a lot of the time they'll hit like a major jackpot, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes like mid 4 figures, sometimes low 5 figures, and then they don't celebrate. They just sit back down and go,
give it all back.
yeah, no, not even give it all back. They just go, I'm halfway to even, or like I'm even now, and I'm like, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts the humanity in me.
Yeah, if you're gonna grind slots for 12 hours overnight, do it with friends.
I also feel like if you only go to the casino with your friends, it's harder to develop a gambling addiction or a gambling problem, because if you go to the casino by yourself, right, it's a lot more accessible. You can go to the casino by yourself pretty much whenever you want. Versus if you're only going with friends on the weekend and you limit it to that, it's more controlled, in my opinion, right? You need your friends to be willing to go with you as well. And then again, you also have your friends kind of like keeping check on you. You can kind of keep tabs on your friends as well.
If you have good friends,
if
like
you have
we
good
said.
friends, yeah. Versus if you just go to the casino, well, you can go to the casino whenever you want by yourself. And now you're constantly thinking about going to the casino. And it's just, in my opinion, an easier slippery slope to get into.
Yeah. Like what you're saying, it's like that's the same reason why like developing like an alcohol addiction is easier than developing a sex addiction.
For some people. Greg?
How did you get here?
He said it pretty much verbatim.
No, I don't think verbatim means what you think it means.
You don't know what you're saying right now. Can you develop a sex addiction by yourself?
Yeah,
yes.
Gooning.
That's a masturbation addiction. For me, sex requires more than one party.
I get fucked online. Casinos, does that count?
Sex addiction and gambling.
I get fucked on League, I get fucked on Counter-Strike, I get fucked every day by myself.
I think porn addiction, masturbation addiction, and sex addiction are all adjacent enough to be together.
It all falls within that.
I think so.
Now, before we get into our fourth and final point, which I think is the most important point when it comes to starting gambling, it's time for All In It in a Minute.
All in it in a minute.
All In It in a Minute is the segment where we play a quick game related to our podcast topic to essentially farm for shorts. Today, we're doing a tier list.
Shout out to the TikTok kids.
All right, I'm gonna say the hook and then we're gonna play, okay? Casino games tier list. Blackjack.
S tier.
Yeah, but I think blackjack is like an A or an S tier game. I think so.
Why?
It has one of the best house edges for the players, So in terms of how much money you're losing per 100 spent, it's one of the lowest, assuming you know how to play perfectly. But for the most part, you can also just ask anyone around you, and they're allowed to just tell you what you're supposed to do according to the book.
I think so too. It's one of those games that is easily accessible and has the lowest edge.
Right. The rules are simple to understand as well.
What are the rules? How do you play blackjack?
How do you play blackjack? So the dealer has one card showing, and you get 2 cards. And you want to get as close to 21 as possible without going over.
Easy game.
Yeah, right. And then as long as you don't go over 21, you need to have your hand be closer to 21 than the dealer's hand, or have the dealer go over, and that's how you win your bet. Yeah. The one thing that does knock down blackjack to me, like maybe to A tier, is that blackjack players at the table are some of the most superstitious, easily triggering people you'll meet at the casino.
What do you mean by that?
Oh man, you hit a 16 and take the bus card, they'll kill you. They'll berate you at the table for like minutes.
Even though it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Right, because they see, oh, you directly affected this hand specifically. You made me lose $100.
That's a good point. The first time I played blackjack was at the Orleans. First time I ever played blackjack in a casino was at the Orleans in Vegas. I'd never played blackjack at a table before, and I sit down, and the guy immediately just goes, "You're gonna sit down mid-shoe?"
That's just not allowed, depending on what type of shoes you're. Well, I guess if you're playing a shoe game, that's fine. For example, if you're dealing a double deck game, you're just not allowed to sit down.
I see.
Yeah.
Because counting reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I think this was probably like 6 deck, 8 deck, or maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was allowed to sit down.
Yeah, you're allowed to sit down.
Yeah. Blackjack players are some of the most like superstitious players, but I think that's not the fault of blackjack. I think that's the players. So I think we put it in S tier.
Craps.
A tier, because it is too fun.
Craps is the most fun you'll ever have, losing $400 in 10 minutes. But it's so confusing. It's such a dense block of information for new players.
That's why I would put it at D. Because like when I first tried to look up craps, it was how to play craps, part 1 of 20, and it was a 20-minute video. And I was like, this seems very inaccessible. So I think but you're saying it's very fun once you know the game, but the learning curve is very high.
I think I'm comfortable putting it in like C tier.
I'm okay with C. C for craps.
C for craps. I think it's really hard to get into, and you lose a lot of money. But in terms of fun, it is by far the most fun you can have in a casino.
Also,
gambling and losing money.
Also, thinking about it now, I recant my statement about blackjack players being the most superstitious. Craps players are the most superstitious.
Don't say 7.
Yeah, if you say 7 next to the blackjack table, they will jump you.
Yeah, and if your dealer says 7, you can jump your dealers too.
Our third game is roulette.
F tier. I think roulette's F tier.
F tier?
I think roulette's F tier.
Why?
I've never won a hand of roulette.
That's a skill issue. Actually,
I'm serious.
It's actually truly, it's not a skill issue.
Yeah, I'm being serious. I've never won a hand of roulette.
That's crazy. I think it's like A tier, just because it's really easy to play, and you lose money very slowly because it takes a long time for the thing to spin around.
It depends on what you're betting, what your bet spread is.
So in terms of house edge, roulette is actually pretty bad.
Okay.
You lose about $5 for every $100 you bet.
It's 5% edge for the house.
It's actually pretty
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And that's for like 00, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Whereas like if you go, like BC, God bless BC. Gambling at BC is actually really nice. Like the limits are low, like compared to like other places I've been, and the rules are super reasonable, right? Like I don't think I've ever seen a blackjack table that pays 6 to 5 in BC. Are there any?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I know of. Right? All the blackjack tables pay 3 to 2 on blackjack. Whereas like I went to Toronto recently, gambling there was a nightmare. Like all the tables except for in the high limit room were pay 6 to 5. The min bet on the craps pass line was $25. I'm like, I'm not rolled to play this on vacation, right? In Vegas, right? Like they'll even hide to you that the roulette tables in Vegas are 000. Because they'll have the 00 and the third 0 will be like the Bellagio logo or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, right? But anyway, like back on roulette, it's like most people like don't know like black roulette strategy is like a really loose term. No, there's like betting systems.
There's no strategy.
No,
for
no,
it.
no,
Like,
no,
just
no,
pick the
no,
numbers
no.
you like. That's your friend's birthday.
Yeah,
or
no.
something.
There's like betting systems, right? There's like betting systems, and you're trying to hit like a mark. But like that's too much for most people. Most people just like bet the numbers they like, and you have no emotion doing that, right? You just like get farmed every time.
Can we come to a verdict?
For me, it's C tier.
Right, but like roulette's also like really accessible.
It is accessible. That's the only reason why. I don't
But I think the edge is too high for the house for me to feel comfortable putting it B or higher. So I would agree with C.
Yeah, sure. C tier for roulette.
Ultimate Texas Hold'em. What is Ultimate Texas Hold'em?
It's sort of like Texas Hold'em. It's a poker game, but you're playing against the dealer. So you get your 2-card hand, the dealer gets their 2-card hand, and you just need to beat the dealer.
Okay, that sounds pretty easy and accessible and fun. I don't play it too much. What do you guys think?
I'm a huge fan of Ultimate Texas Hold'em. I think Ultimate Texas Hold'em is super fun. The rules are pretty straightforward for a new player, right? It's a good baby wheels, like trike wheels to like learn poker hand rankings.
Training wheels.
Training wheels, that's the word. Yeah, it's a really good training wheel game to like learn poker hand rankings and like some weird stuff that can happen, right? Like getting counterfeit. Getting counterfeit in Ultimate Texas Hold'em feels way less bad than in regular poker.
That's not true.
No, I think so.
You flop 2 pair, you get counterfeited, it still feels just as bad.
No, because you lose, you're capped on the amount of money.
How bad it feels directly correlates with how large your bet is.
That is true.
Sure.
And my bets on Ultimate are
But you feel less stupid in Ultimate Texas Hold'em. But because you don't notice you get counterfeit, you jam all in on the river, and the guy goes, yeah, I call. And he goes like, you go 2 pair, and they go me too, and you go what? You feel way more stupid when you play regular poker.
Maybe you feel more stupid.
I feel like we've had enough deliberation. Say a letter. Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
B tier.
Yeah, B.
Yeah, I think it's a good B tier game.
Yeah, and you already have an understanding of poker hand rankings. It's a pretty easy game to play. How's the house edge for it?
I don't know what exactly. I think it's about like 2-ish%.
Okay,
So it's fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Nice. B. Poker. I'm saying S tier. It's you don't play against the house, you play against other players, and it's a game that you can study forever. And honestly, like most of it, you can lose money kind of slowly playing poker. Like 75% of the time, you just don't play a hand.
Yeah.
I think home game poker, definitely S tier.
Yeah.
Casino poker, probably closer to A or B tier. Like sometimes the hands are pretty slow, the rate can be pretty big. And
Dealers can be bad.
The people at your table can also just be pretty like boring to play with sometimes. So it kind of depends on what type of table you're sitting onto. It can be anywhere from B to S tier. Depends on, again, how the game is ran and who's at the table at that day.
Okay, I can settle for A tier.
Yeah,
I think most
right in the
poker is in the
middle.
casino.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Baccarat.
Baccarat, I actually think is an S tier game.
Why is that?
Yeah.
It is probably the easiest game for any new player in the casino to gamble and have a very, very reasonable house edge. So all you have to do in Baccarat basically is pick if the player is going, there's 2 sides, a player and a banker. They both get 2 cards for the most part. You're just betting on who has a higher sum to 9.
And tens and face card equals 0.
They're all zero.
The goal is to have a higher number than the other
Yeah,
person.
yeah, if the term player and banker makes it less approachable, like you can even just say like red or blue, like A or B, right? Like literally that's it. It's the closest game in the casino that's a coin flip. It's the closest to the coin flip
And
you can
it's
possibly
also only like a 1-point-something% house edge. Super reasonable.
And in some places, you're allowed to just destroy your card.
yeah.
You can peel it nice and slow and bend it in half. You lose, you can tear it in half. They don't give a fuck.
That 1% house edge is just to buy the cards so you can rip them up.
get. Oh no, dude, it's like the most fucked up thing I saw online was like a player, like he would like look away and he'd fold his cards into like a square and then he'd slowly unfold the square to peel the card. Or like one dude like rolls his cards like into a joint basically, and then that's how he unpeels the card. It's so sick.
It's pretty fun peeling cards in Baccarat, I won't lie. S tier?
S tier, I think so.
S tier.
Yeah, I agree. And all the side bets pay crazy.
You don't know what's going on. Sometimes you just like put $1 onto some random side bets. No idea what's happening. The dealer just ships you money every once in a while.
Yeah. You put $5 on Panda, and then Panda comes. Everyone goes Panda. And
You're
then,
like,
and then-
Panda! I
and
don't
then-
know why it's a Panda.
Yeah, and then you have $800 in front of you.
If you want to find a community of old Chinese people very quickly, you play Baccarat.
Rich old Chinese people.
You want to learn Mandarin? You go play Baccarat. I'm not as familiar with this game. Pai Gao.
Pai Gao.
I think Pai Gao is like low key, like an A tier game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Pai Gao is an A tier game.
Pai Gao has a reputation for being one of the best games to play in Vegas to farm points and drinks because of how slowly you lose money. Basically, you get a 7-card hand and you need to make a 2-card hand and a 5-card hand. And you only win or lose if both your hands are better than the dealer's or both of hands are worse than your dealer's. So like half the time, you just push at the dealer and nothing happens and you're just sitting there sipping drinks.
Yeah. The nickname for Pai Gao is the game for blackout drunks because
The game for blackout
the
drunk.
game for blackout drunks.
Oh, why?
Because like Edison said, right? You can just sit there and farm drinks. Also, Pai Gao is the one game where the dealer can play for you.
Oh.
Yeah, right? So if you just turn your hand over, right, and say, dealer, what's the best hand I can make here? They cannot lie to you. They must make your best hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's super accessible. You don't even need to know how to play. You just get your cards and go face up and you play.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But like you should, if you're gonna go gamble, you should enjoy playing the game. I think, please, like, as fun unless you're truly there to farm drinks, but in which case you might have a drinking problem, and this is an entirely different issue.
So you're thinking about getting to drinking.
Yeah, right. You push a lot. Once again, it has the same thing that Ultimate has going for it, where you have to learn the poker hand rankings. Right. You're making a 2-card poker hand and a 5-card poker hand, and your 5-card poker hand has to be stronger than your 2-card poker hand. It's pretty simple. Yeah, and even there's some variants where it's face up Pai Gao, where the dealer makes their hand first. So you can look at your hand and assess whether you're going to win or push.
You get position on the deal.
You get position on the dealer, correct.
Pai Gao sounds kind of sick. What's our verdict?
A tier.
A-tier, yeah.
A tier.
All right, last game. Slots.
F tier.
tier.
F tier.
Why? Go.
It's 0. Like you just get raked money. Your jackpots are never that big. They're proportional to how much you're betting, but you lose money so fast. It's so easy just to like mash the button and lose like $5 per spin, and people are like, oh, it's just $5. You lose your entire paycheck in half an hour
For like no entertainment.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's F tier. Slots is F tier because it's just so brainless. There's no stimulation at all. It feels like I'm just doom scrolling on Instagram, but every time I swipe, it costs me $10.
Also, like the people who are addicted to slots, my heart goes out to you, like I said earlier. But like the effect it has on people, it's crazy. Like people record videos of people who are like literally like they look like they're like high on drugs when they hit like an almost missed jackpot. It's actually so sad.
I've heard stories of people who bring diapers to go play slots because they just don't want to leave their seat. And
Why'd you tell
and the
me?
parking lot's just filled with like dirty diapers afterwards.
Why'd you tell me that? That's crazy.
Because the people gotta know. Anything to add about why slots is F tier?
I do think like hitting a jackpot on slots is pretty fun, but it takes so long and takes so much money. And you can just do it for free if you just watch people play on YouTube instead.
For every casino universally, the most amount of money they make from any game is from slots. The reason is it's super accessible. It takes 0 brain cells to play, but you have to understand that the trade-off is that the house edge is so high and they can set it. They can program it.
Yeah.
And it's anywhere from like 5%, 10%, 20%.
If you find a slot machine that's 5% edge, that's unheard of in the year 2026.
Really?
Yeah, it's unheard of.
Minimum like what, 10% these?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it's less bad on like BC49 website. There's some slots on that website as well where some of the slots are lower.
Lower variance, lower volatility.
Variance, lower house edge.
Yeah.
So, but then for the most part, any of the big slots you see that are really popular on YouTube, their house edges are massive.
Yeah, like I understand, like the animations are fun, the LCDs are fun, like Huff and Puff, great reputation for that, but my God, it's like the amount of times I've watched Casino King blow $100 in 20 seconds. You go play craps if you want to do that. If you go play craps without understanding craps, you'll have more fun.
Slots.
F tier.
F tier. The fourth and last thing that you absolutely need if you're thinking of starting to gamble is accountability and integrity. What do I mean by that? You need to protect yourself, and the only way to do that is that if you stay within the realm of objective truth. If you're able to be honest, if you can't be honest with people, if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you gonna be honest with other people? You need to know this is exactly how much I've budgeted. You need to know like I've gone over my budget. This is exactly how much I've lost. I've seen people kind of just go down really bad paths where they just start being dishonest with themselves. Like, I don't have a problem. I can afford this money. I'm not ruining my relationships. I'm not ruining my finances. When in objective truth, they are.
Yeah, it's like how would you define a gambling problem?
Sure. How I would define any addiction is any form of obsession or compulsion that starts affecting your relationships, finances, health, and or any other part of general well-being, right? So in terms of gambling, it's right. I've seen gambling where they start borrowing money from like friends, or they stop paying their, start stealing from friends or family, and that takes a toll in their relationships. Or it starts taking, what was the second thing I said? Starts taking a toll on their
finances. Pretty straightforward.
Very straightforward. It's like they're not making rent, not paying their mortgage. They can't afford their own groceries. General health. I think this can be very much tied to very clearly like something like alcohol or drugs, but gambling as well. Like if you're losing sleep because of gambling, if you're feeling constantly stressed out because of gambling, if it's taking a massive toll on your mental health, these are all indicators that gambling might have become a problem for you. And if that's the case, there are many resources out there. The first thing is to just decide that you want help and need help. No one else can make the decision for you. You need to take responsibility for your own life. And get those resources. I have a couple links in the description below if you need those.
Yeah, and then the other part of protecting yourself is holding those around you in your community accountable, not just yourself.
And so that also means not only holding them accountable, but also asking them to hold you accountable, right? So there are often times where I always like to be skeptical when I'm like looking at my situation, right? So overall, I see myself as being a fairly reasonable gambler who's gambling within and playing poker within his means. But I understand that people who develop problems have blind spots to these things. So I feel very grateful to have in my life a large group of friends who I can ask and say, hey, I need you to be honest with me at all times. Like I know that if I ever ask Edison or Brian to be honest with me about whether they feel any concern about my gambling or playing poker, that they would tell me. Are you concerned about my poker?
No, not
Are you concerned about
particularly.
my poker?
No, you're the most well off out of all of us.
And now there's but you gotta make sure you trust these friends, right? Because bad friends could say the exact same thing. Bad friends could especially if you're punting money to them, bad friends could say the exact same thing. Thankfully, I trust these guys.
You want my money or my friendship?
Both.
I think being responsible also means like being knowledgeable about what you're playing as well. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about how the house edge for different games, and I would like to think that most people that gamble at a casino are also pretty knowledgeable. You should know which bets are really good and which bets are just absolutely awful, and then kind of be educated on how much money you're expected to lose every time you make a bet somewhere.
You're adding on to this point. It's not only accountability and integrity, but you should have your eyes wide open. You should know what you're signing up for, and that means having an education on what games you're playing.
This is like old mentality about gambling that I think stems from like the mid 2000s when like gambling, like playing poker was viewed as like this like man's thing that like every college dude played in their basement and like real men play poker, right? And that type of like, I'll say it, toxic masculinity thinking, right? Hates the idea of studying the game. Hates the idea of like getting better at the game through anything but my own grit and determination, right? And like for better and for worse, I've interacted with these people, right? In places that I've lived in the past, where like me and someone in this like small group will be talking about like theory, like, oh, like what should I have done there? Like what's that spot? And then someone barges in, it's like, what are you guys talking about? You have to look them in the eye and read them. And it's like, I get it. I get the romance and the fantasy that poker sold back then, right? Like especially with like Chris Moneymaker, like anyone could play poker, like right, like all this stuff that was sold back then to make poker more alluring to the general audience. Yeah, but unfortunately, like most things sold on TV, this like fantasy just isn't the reality of what poker is if you want to be a winning player.
Sure.
Right? Or like even do it responsibly.
You're saying that, riffing off of Edison's point about education, that even as you search out for an education around these games, that there are ideologies or communities that are gonna kind of admonish you for doing these things, right?
Yeah.
So, and I agree with this point, particularly something like toxic masculinity, where it's like, Like you want to study the game, but then if you do, then you'd be called like
You're a nerd.
You're a nerd, and I think especially as Asian men too, it's like
you're the Virgin Pokemon Club.
And you know what? This exactly happened with Modelo Man. So if you haven't watched one of my videos, one of my shorts is called I met this guy in Vegas and I wanted to meme on him. Modelo Man was a real guy, okay? And one of the things he constantly said say is like he just kept calling us, me and the other Asian guy, GTO nerds. Even though when arguably my foundations were not very good at that point, right? So again, I think that ties into community. It ties to Edison's point about like educating yourself, but then also surrounding yourself with people who will support your journey in that way.
Uplift you even, right? Right. Like the other night we had that spot where like you stacked me, but like we talked about the spot. I'm like, yeah, I could have played it better.
Yeah, you know, it's like if you just went over the hand with Brian's consent, because the worst thing in the world is getting stacked, and then the guy starts coaching you. Yeah. Which is what happened, but you seemed open to discussion.
We have the rapport.
Yeah. All right, so to summarize, again, folks, the 4 things you need before you get into gambling, if you're thinking about getting into gambling, is having a conversation with yourself. Do you even want to gamble? Are you in the financial situation to gamble? Having a good mindset or ideology towards gambling. For me, that means treating gambling as entertainment. Having a community. Gambling is very lonely, as with any vice. Doing it by yourself is lonely. So having friends and people who around you who you can not only have fun with, but also willing to hold you accountable is extremely important. And the very last thing is accountability and integrity. This is something that you can ask your friends to do, but you yourself truly need to have this, because if you cannot stay objective and factual about what is happening with your finances when you gamble, if you can't be honest with yourself to say whether this is responsible or not, gambling is not for you and is an issue. Well, that was our very first All-In podcast. I want to thank my friends Brian and Edison, as always, for being here. I want to thank you at home for watching. And as always, my friends, make sure you stay loose.
Play 7 deuce.
Even if I don't. Shut the fuck up.
This guy.
Listen to me, you motherfucker.